those who are going to miss me, even though that is the night before the busiest day of the year for me, I will be there at 10 o'clock because I would not miss Vicky Lynn or Marcos or Thomas Bottom for my life, especially at Club Impulse. So, please come out for that. Coming up next to the stage is someone who has been a significant part of the Rockford Poetry Slam. He has booked all of our feature poets since we've started having feature poets. And on top of that, he basically comes in before shows and helps us set this up. And he does it without complaint and without pay. He's one of our favorite minions. So coming up next to the stage is Mr. Bubbles.
What tie-dye? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, this first piece, it was actually, it's written because, for those of you guys who don't know, I actually really like my nephew. I don't know if, and I was trying to write one of those poems where it's like, hey, okay, this is what I feel about you kids, stuff like that. And the exact same time, I was being told to be a good role model for him. For those of you, my name's Bubbles, that should probably imply that I'm not really the best role model for kids. So, yeah, this is my trying to fight with that, and also his dad's name is Carlos. I feel that's important for people to know, just in case you ever meet someone named Carlos, you can hit him in the face for me. An open letter from my nephew. Dear Connor, I don't think your father's a man. He's telling me my first impression was wrong, that he's not a bull, with so much air in his head that if not for the stones in his pocket, he would fly away. Truth be told, it'd be understandable if he was. Flying up in the sky, unable to return, but I think he's a coward, whose definition of commitment ends at the chase, and love is nothing but another word for let's fuck, but if he's here, let him stand up and defend himself. Shh. Do you hear that silence? Connor, tell me you are not the child of a hit and run. With 3 weeks after being told he was born, he was found with another woman. Connor, is from you. Truth is, when you look at me, I get scared. Because you seem to think I know what it means to be a man, though I've learned more from the 2 years of your life than you ever could from the 22 of mine, such as the way. You climb up the tallest couch, jump, believing you can fly, knowing someone will be there to catch you if you fall. But I learned that when you jump into the abyss, you'll crash into the ground, unable to stand up for a few years. So I take my heart, give it to women who will never accept it, preferring that certainty of no over the vulnerability of maybe. Connor, it is from you I learned to cry. Because sometimes you just have to say, I'm here, please look at me, which is why I stand on this stage right now screaming, revealing intimate details of myself I don't even talk about, so I'll make you a promise. If you follow your own path, I will become your fist and shield, and if you jump when you must, I promise to be there to catch you if you fall. Signed, Uncle Tay Tay. P.S. I love you, kid. And yeah, this second piece started off as me just trying to write a letter to myself as a kid and say, hey, this is what's going to happen, this is going to be the reaction you want to give, and then I don't want you to do that. It turned into something completely different. It turned into, there's a series of questions that I've always asked myself, such as, to use an example, I can't seem to keep any form of friendship, stuff like that, lasting beyond a year. And yet I also mentioned two women in this piece that essentially changed my life. One of them was named Amy Quintanilla when I knew her. The other ones are hosts. So I figured that's important to point out. So yeah, let's see if I can do this right. I tried to write a letter to my former self, but unable to figure out where to begin, I started talking about my family. Because I'm 7 years old. We were playing soccer out in the yard. It is one of my favorite memories, yet also the most painful, because I'm 11. They called me into a room. Said they no longer love each other. I think that was the day I figured out that love is nothing but a chemical reaction inside the brain at 12. I'm living in their home, erasing myself. Why? Didn't they just leave me at the side of the road? It'd be so much easier to understand that kind of abandonment at 14. They try to place themselves back into my life, but realize you abandoned me once, I won't let you do it again at 18. They try it one last time, but I made sure they understood exactly what they did to me at 21. I left them 1,500 miles away. I'm 22 today, and We haven't spoken in over a year, but I got this one question. Am I somehow cursed? Because at the age of 8, I get my first kiss. I don't tell people how it happened or what her name is because there's certain things you don't need to know, but at 15, I begin to feel. This emotion inside my body I cannot explain. To a woman who I grow to trust in my life tells me, embrace the emotion. It's that thing which makes you human, so I do. Less than a year later, I am broken. At 17, I meet a girl. She abandons me without even saying goodbye. At 19, I meet someone from my past, yet within days of exchanging, I love you, it turns out she was in love with another man 5 months ago. I began to feel the exact same emotion inside my body, but this time, you know what, I figured it out. I'm not going to get abandoned this time, so I ran away. Yet I still have this one question. Am I somehow cursed? Do I simply lack the ability to feel love, or was I introduced to death just a little bit too soon because I'm 2 years old? Looking into the eyes of a woman I do not know, the first question I think to ask is, did she go to heaven? I'm 10. Looking into the eyes of my grandmother, the first question I even ever think to ask is, why are these people crying? They are weak during the entire funeral. I am trying not to laugh. At 12, my best friend dies, but I simply pull his memory, I simply remove his memory. The girl at 15, the way she broke me is the exact same thing she did to her wrist. The one at 17 managed to kill herself, so I have this one question. Am I somehow cursed? Because the girl at 19, the way I figured out she loved another man was I went to her home. There's an ambulance right outside the door. Holding her hand was a man who was not me. Around where her neck should be, there was blood. 3 months ago, my grandfather died. Yet I felt nothing. So you know what? I figured it out. I'm going to write a letter to myself for July 30th, 2012, when I first found out about Slam. I'm going to say don't go to one. Because for 3 months, you're going to sit right over there and watch as poets stand on stage. For 7, that damn woman will tell you, embrace the emotion inside your body. It is that thing which makes you human, till one day you're standing on stage, looking at a crowd of people who don't even know your name, yet the only thing you can think to ask is, someone please hold me. I may be cursed, but I'm sick of trying to do this shit alone.